John, week 4, we made it a whole month. This has been really great to just kind of document the journey, but how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We have money in the bank. We've sold some things. We've delivered on good products. Customers have good results. You and I are both working a lot, but I think we're having fun.
It's so much fun. Every day is so different. When we started, we had 2 creators. Where are we today?
I don't know, maybe like 19. Somebody asked us yesterday, they said, what is your creator to manager ratio? I think we're constantly comparing our jobs to something that's come before us. And I think the way that we do things is tremendously different. We find it out every day. The way Savannah and I kind of go to market on the behalf of a creator, we truly treat it like a software sales business. We try to get with them and figure out what products can these people even sell. So first of all, like, can you do a social media post? Are there any businesses that are totally out of bounds? One of our creators said, nothing with nicotine, alcohol, tobacco, et cetera, which we respect. And then, so there's confines. Then we have to put pricing on it. Are you willing to let the brand share it as well? Or do you not want to do that? Or do you want to sell that for a premium? Then a lot of these creators thrive in person appearances. They're really good at saying, hey, if you're going to NADA, stop by booth 341. Russ Flips Whips is going to be there. And then additionally, some people we work with are just like brilliant publishers. So they're great writers. They host a podcast. They can really carry media all the way through. And I think what's fun about Savannah and I's career is we try and figure out how to productize and go to market with people that both are solo rock stars on the internet, just like classic social media influencer, versus people who are, you know, really good publishers.
It's interesting those that are really great publishers but don't want to be in public. Like we have a creator who we see on camera on social all the time, but in our calls, camera is off. He's like, I'm very shy. This is who I am. This is how it's going to go. And being able to adapt with that. I look back on kind of conversations we've had with other agencies that this is their bread and butter. Maybe they're in LA or they're in Chicago, in New York, and they use their terminology and their thought process and their flow. And we're coming in with a completely blank slate coming from automotive retail. It's
Yeah.
almost like when you get the salesperson who has maybe sold cell phones, but they've never sold cars. And you're like, this is
That's
perfect
us.
because we don't
That's
have
us. We are
tons
like the
of
bartender that got a shot at selling cars, and now we're just like, it comes naturally. But I think the people on the outside looking in think that we may be moving fast. We may be kind of where we see efficiency. And I think the two of us both have run large businesses before. So we look at this as a business and we truly respect the people and we respect the creative process, but we just understand beginning, middle, and end, how to prospect, how to sell, how to onboard and deliver. And I think that that's really a defining piece of our company. Yeah.
it's really coming in with like a blank sheet of paper and being able to approach it and not have to fit the mold of what every agency is doing, which I think is going to give us the unfair advantage. I mean, right now, we don't have direct competition in the automotive industry, but we're across several industries and we do. But having this approach, I think, is going to help a lot. So I think it's interesting. A lead will come in for somebody, and we're like, oh, we had one that was it was a robot that makes snacks and different, balloons and whatnot for kids. And where that came in the entrepreneur space actually was a perfect fit for car dealerships.
Kind of a fit for everybody in our portfolio. So yeah, we can kind of take a niche concept and expand it and do kind of like a run a network, run of Freddy Media network advertising experience. So that is a neat outcome when you find something that they really only were familiar with one of our guys, and then they're expanded, excited to see everyone. On the topic of publishers, Savannah, do you think Freddy Media could ever be a publisher? Like, what I know we manage and love and do these things and make brand deals for everybody, but do you think you, me, the cast of characters we work with, do you see us as a publisher ever?
I think it comes down to the way we function as a team and the way we treat our team really as like I feel like it's not just, the 4 or 5 of us that are Freddie Media, but that our creators are a part of that. And so building this like online community, I think is a great way to segue of like how we're becoming publishers. And then now this podcast and starting to bring in our creators into our content to kind of be a resource across multiple industries.
Yeah, let's talk about the community. I think for people outside of creator management, they may get pulled into classes here or there. They've been sold some sort of training online. And we manage all these people that constantly ask you and me to build their WAP or their school or their collab. And then you and I were doing a deal with one of our creators with Go High Level, which is a wonderful tech company, and they were telling us about their community, which is called Go Collab. And it kind of got us thinking that businesses reach out to you and me 20 times a day, and they really ask for advice on how to publish content that helps them grow their customer base or retain their customer base or raise their profile as a great executive in whatever community they're in. So Russ and I think Russ's best value is he's really kind of like the Martin Scorsese of short form. Like he's really good at kind of like telling people he could stand behind the camera, tell you how to move the camera really fast and what to say and what to do, and he doesn't have to be in it, and he'll get you 100,000 views on TikTok. So we are starting a collab community. We'll call it business content. And effectively, there's going to be a few segments in there. There will be a segment of people that have gone through the Russ Flips Whips training where we're training dealerships and businesses on how to do this in person. And that is probably our highest calling in life. That's the most fun we ever have. And I hope we continue to do that forever. And then the continued education of that, your salespeople at the dealership, your finance people, everybody who works and has gone through that social media training, they can join our community and they can proffer ideas or feedback on editing a video. Hey guys, I was thinking about doing a personal blog and I was going to talk about this. And then the community can say, hey, why don't you reorient it this way? Why don't you re-say it that way? Because this content creation it needs a lot of refinement. It needs a lot of feedback and it needs a lot of directorial curation. So our team is naturally doing it. And we feel like that's probably our best way to give back to everybody. We're going to keep it for free. We're going to confine the Russ segment to just the people that have gone through his training. And we'll have a greater Freddy Media collab community where basically anybody who's interested in growing their business through the use of social media can join it. And then what we'll do is me, Savannah, Russ, Ben's and Bow Ties, all the creators on our team will give you good feedback on what you're trying to do. So I'd encourage everybody, please join our community. I don't care what you do. If you're my wife, who's a wealth manager, if you are, who cares? Join it and hop in there and see if our team can help you become successful on social media for your business.
Think that there's also a lot of value of like accountability and looking at things across industries. Like if you're HVAC and you're speaking to someone in the automotive space, there's so much you can learn from what they're seeing in their content as well.
Yeah, I think it works across industries, and I do think the HVAC guy can like peel from automotive, and in turn, it all works together. So, we'd love for you to join.
Absolutely. So, John, what else is on the docket? What else is new in week 4?
Week 4, I don't know. We made some interesting deals. I met a lot of people abroad that kind of want to bring a product to America. And their purview is they've wasted so much money on trade shows that they never want to do it again. So I kind of see what we do as something that really kind of like displaces or complements or almost is competing with the spend that would otherwise go on a trade show. So we were building out like an entire media strategy for a company in Poland. And like this guy was just like so exciting to talk to because he wanted to work with each one of our creators.
Finding ways to stand out in these trade shows too. Like right now, there's a big industry trade show going on, and it's like each booth, like how do you get around, right? And where Russ is there and he's engaging with everyone and they're sending selfies, but it's like, can you go
Yeah.
meet with so and so? Like it's a mess, right? And so when we're looking at an ADA for 2025, coming up with ways for brands that are maybe not spending on a booth and maybe not doing a cocktail hour, how can they stand out? That has been really interesting. So there are
But
still
even if
brands
you
out there.
are spending on the booth, you're just sitting there like a shoe salesman, hoping somebody walks in and asks to try one on. Like if you don't promote your booth and say, "Hey, I'm going to be here doing this, that, or the other," and you could do paid ads, or you could hire an influencer to do it, or you could blast out emails. But if you're going to make the investment to go to a trade show, you better like promote it like it's a, party in Vegas.
And you better have value. Like, that's the other thing of like, they can schedule a demo with you after the fact. So, what are they getting that day? And it's not necessarily just special pricing, but something there that's special because
Yeah, my dream, Savannah, is that we kind of like displace the need for the trade show to have the sales pitch. And why don't we use media to promote events that are actually kind of fun and intriguing? Like, and then we all hang out together, get to know each other. It's so much easier to sell something or have a relationship with somebody if you spend quality time with them, as opposed to, hey, I got 15 minutes walking past the booth. I dragged you in here. You have to sit through a demo. Thank you. Sign here. I think that's dead, and I think we're going to move towards like experiential fun trade shows or events, and then they can be, promoted by media.
you read my mind. I feel like every brand has a brand identity and a brand voice. And when you attach a person, like whether it's, your rep or your account manager at that brand, you're way more indebted to them. And so it's like if we can just help you fall in love with their brand and their brand story and their people during that time, it's so much more valuable.
Totally. Well, let's close on one brand idea for a trade show the two of us are like really heavy on. We'd love to hear feedback. So we have a creator named Abbas Wahab, who's a touring stand-up comedian out of Toronto, and all of his content is kind of like making fun of car manufacturer OEMs. So he'll do stuff about the Toyota marketing team, the Infinity marketing team, BM. He's got a lot to say about the new Jaguar logo.
Yes.
So would anybody be brave enough to work with him at NADA and let him do a whole hour of stand up, basically like talking about the car business? And he has an hour just on automotive OEMs. The guy is a hit. His like TikToks and Instagrams get millions of views. So I would say if there's any vendor, trade show, car dealership group that wants to do something a little different, consider Abbas Wahab. It's the best in the business, and Savannah and I can help you get it.
I couldn't agree more. I would like to see some of his comedy in person at
Yeah.
NADA next year. So,
Yeah. All right. Well,
absolutely.
thank you, Savannah. Thanks for everybody for keeping up with Freddy Media and rooting us on. Your support means the world to us, and we're having a blast.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks.